I hate everyone in this story. Every single human in the story. I have something personal against every single one of you. Just makes me mad. Hi, my lovelies. It's Rebecca Rogers. Welcome back to my channel. And it's Tuesday, meaning it is time for a weekly episode of Am I the Bad Apple? People send in stories where they're not sure if they acted appropriately or not, and we give our opinion. We all come from different walks of life, so we're not necessarily gonna have the same opinions. We just have to make sure that just because someone doesn't agree with us, doesn't mean we can sit there and bash them, doesn't mean that we can sit there and be rude. We probably shouldn't make assumptions about their lives or their childhoods. I say this a lot in my other series, We Can't Make This Stuff Up. The first step to respecting each other is understanding each other. But anyways, let's go apple picking. That was for you guys. I brought it back. Apple number 1. Am I the bad apple for not allowing my sister to grieve? I, 22-year-old female, recently got married to the love of my life 2 weeks ago. Me and my fiance had spent over a year planning and perfecting our dream wedding, and I have to say, the day was everything we dreamed of and more. My sister was gonna be my maid of honor. However, in late June 2022, her oldest daughter passed away in a car accident. The whole family was in absolute shreds, grieving and comforting my sister and her family. Of course, nothing can fully heal this hole in our family, but we've tried to move forward the best way we all can. My fiance and I were scheduled to get married in early June, but we decided to push back the wedding till late August so we can give the family time to grieve. It cost us a lot of money to push it back even that month, but given the circumstances, my fiance and I were happy to do it. Unfortunately though, our new wedding date happened to fall on the 2-month anniversary of my niece's death. 2 days before the wedding, my sister called me. She asked me to cancel the whole wedding. I was really surprised and asked, "Why do you want me to do this?" She said she needed the rest of the year to just be about her and her grief. I explained to her that if we were to cancel the wedding, we would lose so much money due to the fact that some of these things we had no refund policy over. My sister begged and pleaded with me to cancel the wedding, and she said that if I really cared for her or my niece, that she should be worth way more than the money. While I agree that yes, she is way more important than money, this is thousands of dollars we're talking about. It's not 30 bucks. I calmly but firmly told her that I'm not going to be canceling my wedding. I told her she could skip if she wants and we would all understand, but then she called me a jerk and told me I'm a sick person for not taking pity on her. She just lost her daughter, for crying out loud. I understand she just lost her baby recently, and I'm trying to be sympathetic and understanding, but I had to draw the line. We had the wedding 2 weeks ago, and like I said, everything was the way we dreamed. However, my sister and her family didn't show. A few family members confronted me about how crappy I treated my sister. My fiance's on my side, and so are a few other family members, but my mom is neutral. My sister's family are now even attacking my fiance and I over social media. I think I was in the right, but based on this reaction, I'm starting to doubt myself. So I need to know, am I the bad apple? I don't think that there are any bad apples in this situation. I think it's a really unfair situation. I don't even think I would give anyone a crab apple because everyone is honestly just doing the best with the situations that they were given. I got married a couple years ago. I know how crazy it is. I know how things book up really quick. I know how expensive things are. I can't imagine how much it costs to move it in the first place and then to go ahead and also cancel it and later plan another wedding. That's a lot to ask of somebody, and I don't think that's fair. Now, if this tragedy happened the day before or the week of or something like that, that might be a little bit of a different story. But I think that because she already moved the date of the wedding and paid for moving it to give everyone a little bit more time to grieve, I think she did everything that she should have done. Now, that doesn't mean that I think her sister is wrong either. Grief is hard. I cannot even imagine losing a child. I've said before in another video, I've been very fortunate. I don't have any family members that have passed. The only family funeral I'd ever been to was my great-grandmother's. I've been very fortunate. My husband was not the same way. My husband's mother passed about 6 months before we got married. I can't even begin to describe what it was like, especially for him. It was a lot. people handle grief in a lot of different ways. Some people are really eager to move forward and escape the grief. Other people really just need to sit in it for a while. Now, something that's a little harsh that I do feel like I need to say is that when you're grieving over someone or something, you know, life does also still go on. And that's really hard to hear for some people, and I know that. I'm only saying that as a reminder that other people's lives do still have to continue. And if you need to sit in your grief and do what you need to do, okay. But the rest of the world can't just pause with you. I don't think her asking the bride to cancel the wedding was reasonable, but I also can't fault her for it because of what she's going through, you know? I don't think she's in her right mindset right now, and that is so understandable. But I also don't think the bride is the bad apple for not complying. And even the family, the whole rest of the family, they all have feelings about it, and they all just lost a family member, and that's understandable. But that's my opinion. I don't think there's any bad apples here. Everyone's going through a really rough time, and some people need to sit in it a little longer, and other people are ready to move forward, and that's okay. Everyone has their own process. Apple number 2. Am I the bad apple for going out with my friend's crush? I'm 18 male, and you can call me Zachary. I'm openly pansexual and attend a public high school. For me, developing crushes is rare, and when I have one, I really try to make the relationship happen. I have a crush on a boy that we'll call Jake, who's openly gay. About a month ago, I learned one of my female friends, who we'll call Lyra, has a crush on Jake, but can't fathom that he's not attracted to girls. Lyra is an incredible person. She can be a bit rude at times due to mental issues, but she's kind to me most of the time. Lyra has continuously asked Jake out and got rejected at least 3 times, which doesn't sound like a lot, but she literally asked him out 3 times in 1 week. 2 weeks ago, I asked Jake out to dinner at a local restaurant, which he agreed to. Jake was a relatively popular guy, and he had lots of friends who he talked to a lot, meaning news spread pretty quickly. Eventually, the news that we were going out spread to Lyra, who was furious. She said I was only doing this to spite her, even though I genuinely had feelings for this boy, and he does for me as well. She continued with,
"He's only agreed to go out with you because you're his only option. No one will ever want to be with you."
I see your viewpoint, and I'm really sorry that she ended up getting rejected, but that was really hurtful of her to say. Now the friends I share with Lyra aren't talking to me, which I'm perfectly fine with, but I'm wondering if I shouldn't have made my move the same month in which she did. I'm very happy with Jake, and I've met and became friends with so many people that are friends with Jake too. But I have to wonder, am I the bad apple? I feel like people aren't going to agree with my viewpoint, so I'm just gonna come out and say it. No, I don't think so. Here's the thing with crushes, and this is gonna be in 2 parts because I have 2 very big views on this. When it comes to people with crushes and like, oh, Sally likes Johnny, but Johnny doesn't like Sally, Sally likes Lauren. Why are 2 people who like each other not allowed to be together because someone else liked one of them first? Like, Zachary not dating Jake isn't gonna make Jake date Lyra. He's not interested. He never was. So why can he not go and date people that he does like? And if that includes someone else, even someone that Lyra's friends with, why is it, oh, well, you're just spiting me? How is it spiting you? You were never going to date. Jake doesn't like her. He's not interested. It didn't matter if Zachary was friends with Lyra or not. Jake was never going to be with Lyra. So why are these 2 not allowed to be happy? And I feel like some people in the comments are gonna be all angry and be like, well, it's friend code. I can agree with the whole don't date your friend's exes as soon as they break up. That's something I can get a little bit more on board with, but nothing happened between Jake and Lyra. They never dated. He was never interested in her. To me, it's just not the same thing because they never had anything. And the second part to that is, there never would be anything because Jake is gay. He doesn't like girls. Honestly, I think it's really disrespectful for Jake to be openly gay and say, I don't like girls, and for Lyra to ask him out 3 times. If it was reversed, we would be asking like, why is no not enough, huh? You asked once, leave her alone. She said no, she doesn't want to date you. So why is she asking him out 3 times? And all 3 times he's like, I am gay. I don't like girls. He doesn't even have to say he's gay. He just has to say he's not interested. If he's not interested, stop asking him out. It can be really hard for kids in the LGBTQ community to date in high school. The dating pool is a whole lot smaller. So if you're really either of their friends, why would you go and further restrict it? Oh, this one person that you can date in the school? Yeah, no. That's really messed up. Why would you be that kind of friend? I guess that's the thing. You're not really a friend. That's not how friends act. So if I haven't said it already and you haven't guessed at this point, I think Zachary's a good apple. That's my vote. Apple number 3. Am I the bad apple for refusing to compromise on the custody of our daughter? I, 32 female, co-parent my 13-year-old Lily with her father. We're generally flexible with days and neither of us have a real problem with one another. A few weeks ago, he texted me, "Hey, can I pick up Lily September X instead of Y and drop her off on A day instead of B day?" When I asked him why, he said his brother-in-law passed away and the funeral was Saturday, so he wanted to leave Friday. This was in a city several hours away. I agreed to this. I mean, I wasn't happy about Lily missing school, but I compromised. A few days ago, a friend of mine sent me pictures from my ex's social media account of him and Lily at a ball game from that Friday in the city where brother-in-law's funeral was. He never told me about that. I texted him and asked, "What's up? What is this? Why did you lie about a funeral?" And he said, "I didn't lie. It just been a lucky coincidence that their favorite team was playing in that city and he figured they might as well go to a game and see some of her favorite players." I asked if Lily had homework she should be doing and he said she had plenty of time to do it and that this was important to him. I'm very big on the importance of Lily doing well in school, so this was upsetting to me that he put a child's game in something he wanted to do over her schoolwork. I don't even think Lily likes the team for any other reason than to connect with her father, and I really think this was mostly for him because I see all the nostalgia crap he posts on social media about this team. I told him he shouldn't have left that out of the plan he gave me and that I wasn't changing custody anymore, not even for his mother's birthday, that he could pick her up and drop her off a few hours later, but she wasn't staying overnight and I wanted those hours back later. Now he's incredibly upset at me and called me a jerk for overreacting. I just want Lily to understand that education is important and it needs to be prioritized and she needs to be surrounded by people that understand that. So, am I the bad apple? First things first, I think you're lying when you say you don't have a problem with one another. I think you have a big problem with Lily's father. I had a kid literally out of the country for 2 months. 2 months! And I had to work around that. I've seen kids gone for a whole week to go to Disney or go to the beach. You're angry she had to go for a funeral? A couple days of school for a teenager is not the end of the world. I'm telling you right now, it's not. You can prioritize school and still be reasonable about it. And missing a funeral because your 13-year-old has school is not reasonable in my opinion. Now, if there was some kind of big test or something, or if she was really struggling, I can see why you would be really stressed out about her missing school, but that doesn't mean she can't miss for a funeral. Also, if a family member died, why are they not allowed to go and have a light afternoon spending time with each other? You're freaking out about the ball game. Well, I only said she could go to the funeral. Why are they not allowed to spend quality time with each other either before or after the funeral? Why does that offend you so much? If you don't have a problem with each other, why is that so bad? I mean, if you don't have a problem with each other, why is your friend stalking his social media and sending you screenshots of it? That's a good question. And why are you so offended that this girl likes a sports team just because it's important to her dad? Why does that hurt you? Why is it the end of the world that they have something they bond over that's not school related or doesn't include you? Who cares if she only likes the players because her dad likes them? If the worst thing that this guy is doing in your co-parenting relationship is taking her to spend time with him after a family member passed away, after a traumatic event of like losing a family member can be traumatic. Funerals can be really hard for kids. I mean, kids understand what death is, but going to a funeral is really just the realization that death is there. And especially if this was her first one, she might have needed that time to unwind and relax and spend time with her dad. And you want to take it away because you're jealous? Don't tell me you're not jealous, okay? I can smell it. I smell the jealousy. I think you're the bad apple, for sure, 100%. And what is this Lisa's last line, I want her to be surrounded by people that understand education's important. Do you think she's not gonna be surrounded by her dad and his family? Is that why you're not letting her at her grandmother's birthday? Because you don't want her surrounded? Cut it out. You're the bad apple, 100%. Apple number 4. Am I the bad apple for stalking my son's teacher's Instagram? I'm sweating and I haven't even read it yet. I know I'm gonna get mad. I know I'm gonna get angry. Oh, I already know this is gonna make me so angry. Okay, deep breaths. My son is 4 and this is his first year in preschool. His teacher is called Mary and she's roughly in her early 30s, if that even matters. We first met her on Monday when dropping him off and I didn't get the best vibes from her, so I looked her up on social media. She posts provocative photos and is very active politically, going on marches and events and stuff like that. The vibes were already far from immaculate, but what I saw made me dislike her even more. I talked it over with my wife and we decided to ask some of the other parents what they thought of her. We reached out to them and created a group chat where we just started talking and sharing her account. Her content wasn't well received from most parents either, mostly because of the provocative photos. Nothing happened for a couple of days, but a fellow parent kept tracking her account and she saw that the teacher uploaded a selfie with 3 of her students on Thursday. The parents were furious about that and went to the district supervisor first thing Friday morning. Since I was the one who started the group, he called me to confirm and hear my side of the story, and he asked me if I would come into his office later that evening. Of course I would. When I walked in, the teacher was there, along with a few other parents, and we started talking and trying to explain the issue. Voices were raised, and at one point, she started accusing me of stalking her and sharing her account to perv on her with the other dads. I was like, whoa, lady. I'm just trying to see what kind of person's gonna be teaching my son. But she wasn't having any of it and just kept arguing with me. Things escalated even more, and the other parents demanded she be removed from the class. I didn't outright concur or join with them, but I didn't object either. The supervisor ordered her to take down the photos, along with any she had uploaded with her previous students, but he didn't reach a conclusion. Rumor has it he's been considering placing her in another school because the school year already started. But I guess we'll find out on Monday, I suppose. Anyways, was I the jerk here? Should I have just kept my worries to myself? I'm curious. What do you guys think? Every single person has done things that just really grind my gears, okay? I don't even know where to start. I know where to start. We've got a bad batch. Everybody involved is a bad apple. We just got a whole bad batch all around, all over. I'll start with the teacher because I think that's gonna be the shortest. Why are you putting kids on your social media? Why? Why? These are minors and you don't have parental permission. Stop putting them on social media. I know there's a lot of debate going around on mom talk about putting kids on camera versus not putting them on camera, and I don't have kids, it's not my business. Do I totally understand why it's not safe to put minors and babies like that on camera? 100%. But again, I don't have kids. I don't feel like it's my place to get into that discussion. What I am gonna chime in for is teachers who put students on social media. These aren't your kids. Stop. I've been on social media for a couple of years now. I have never once used a child in a video. I've never once put their faces, their voices, nothing. I don't agree with that. This might be an unpopular opinion, and if it offends you, I am sorry. But if you don't have a platform without either exploiting your students' work or voices or reactions or faces or whatever, you don't really have a platform. And I think it's kind of grimy. Now I say that fully understanding there's probably a lot of people who thinks that what I do is also probably gross, making skits of real things that happen in classrooms, whether that be with parents, other teachers, kids. I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't agree with it. And that's fine, you don't have to agree with me, just like I'm sure there are people who don't agree with me about teachers using kid stuff in their content. But for me, that's where I draw a line. That is my personal non-negotiable. Now when it comes to the other content, I fully side with the teacher. It's her social media and she's teaching preschoolers. Even if she has scandalous photos of her in low-cut shirts and short skirts or shorts, that doesn't make her a good or bad teacher. And her students are preschoolers. They're never gonna find that. The only people who are gonna be looking at it is the dads. And honestly, I don't disagree. That's kind of weird for a bunch of grown adults to make a group chat just sharing her thirst traps. That's weird. I hate this idea that teachers can't have social media. Like, other professions aren't like that. Nurses that work in the pediatric unit, they can still have social media. They work with kids. Social workers can have social media. They work with kids. What about doctors, dentists who all work on kids? Why can they have a full-blown social media account but teachers can't? Are you gonna look me in the eye and tell me that there are no other professions that work with kids that don't love going out and drinking with friends or looking pretty and confident? Maybe they want to feel sexy, I don't know. But you don't have a problem with that. You only have a problem with the teachers. That's dumb. That's dumb to me. I don't like it. It's gross. It's grimy. Not a fan. Just mind your business. That's all I have to say. Mind your business. If she's not wearing anything inappropriate in the classroom, if she's not coming on to any of the dads or the moms or anybody, it's not impacting the classroom. It's not impacting your kid. Period. And I'm also gonna assume that the supervisor made her take down the photos with the kids, but not the others. Because again, that's not your business. And I know some people are gonna be like, why didn't she just put it on private? Why should she have to? She teaches 4 and 5-year-olds. They don't have Instagram accounts. They're not gonna find it, even if she taught high schoolers. Now, I will say, as someone who taught high schoolers, I would not be comfortable with these kids seeing photos of me going to the club because I was asked to prom too many times by these children, and I didn't like it. I don't like being put in that position. I'm young, and I was still very hardlining that boundary in the sand. If other people feel more confident, like, it's their social media. Do whatever you want, as long as you're not doing it in the classroom, as long as you're not being inappropriate in the classroom. Do whatever you want on your social media. I just don't think it's anyone else's business. And I know there's gonna be people that disagree with me. That's fine. You can disagree with me. You're not gonna change my opinion on that one. There might be some where you guys make points and I'm like, oh, that's a good point. I haven't considered that. This one, no. I'm very pro teachers being able to have social media. I'm very pro teachers being able to post what they want. I'm very pro parents minding their business of what teachers do in their personal lives. But overall, I think, again, everyone did bad here. Teachers should not be using kids on her social media. The parents need to mind their business. Bad batch overall. So looking back, we have 2 good apples, 2 bad apples. I guess one of those bad apples is a bad batch. Do you think we need an icon for a bad batch? I just kind of figured that we'd put a bunch of bad apples together and that would be a batch. I don't know. But regardless, per usual, make sure you put your votes down in the comments. You know, I love to hear what you guys think. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? There are a few stories that I genuinely believe that some people have some really good arguments about not agreeing with me. And that's okay, we don't all have to agree on everything. But let me know, I wanna know for all 4 of these, what did you think and why? Anyways, if you have a story that you wanna add to our episodes or even wanna vote on stories for our episodes, you can do so at my subreddit, r/amibadapple. And I hope you guys have a fabulous rest of your day. Whatever your caffeinated beverage of choice is, whether it be coffee or tea like me, I hope it comes out at the perfect temperature next time you order it. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and I can't wait to see you guys next week. Bye, my lovelies. Mwah.